Hello everyone, this is Namrata. Today we'll be discussing another topic in Service Cloud, which is entitlement management. So we'll discuss about what is entitlement management. It helps us to provide the correct support and service level to our customers, and it helps us to enforce the service level agreements. Service level agreements is a commitment between you and your customer. With Service Cloud, you can manage the service level agreement with service contracts, entitlements, milestones, and assets. In this session, we will be covering about entitlements and milestone. You can set up this entitlement management so that customers are eligible for support based upon one or several of the following types of records. You can associate the entitlements with accounts, you can associate entitlements with assets, you can associate entitlements with contacts, you can associate the entitlements with the service records. For example, think of what kind of support each customer is entitled to. There are two customers, customer A and customer B. Customer A could be entitled for phone support, customer B can be entitled for web email support. We don't want to mix up these two. So what we do, we create an entitlement which tells our support team or our support rep that what service level each customer is entitled to based upon their service level agreements. So you create an entitlement that entitles particular account to phone support. Now somebody from that specific account, from a customer from that specific account tries to call you. The support agent looks up for that account and he understands that okay, this customer is associated to this account and this account has an entitlement called as phone support. Then the customer agent tries to respond to his queries and he or she go ahead and creates a case from that particular entitlement. So we'll discuss in detail how this entire process works. And there are different entitlement models. One is entitlement only. So this is like support agents determine whether a customer is eligible for support at the account level or at the contact level or at the assert level. There is one more entitlement model which is entitlement plus service contracts. So it determines whether a customer is eligible for support based upon their service contract. These two things is something which we will discuss sometime later. In today's session, we will be covering entitlements along with the milestone. The third model is entitlements plus service contracts plus contract line item. So we determine whether a customer is eligible for support based upon the products covered in their service contract. So now let's go ahead and enable this entitlement management. So I am opening my developer org from the setup home. Look out for the entitlement. Here you see entitlement settings. For the first time, you will have to enable this entitlement management. So click on the entitlement management, and once you enable the entitlement management, there are various other features or factors that comes into the place. So we'll see each of this. Here I'm enabling the same account on the case. So we are associating this entitlement to the account. So we have to remember that every entitlement must be associated with an account. So we are going ahead and associating this account on a case. Limit the entitlement lookup field to only return entitlements with the active status. So this is something which I'm choosing for now. Based upon your requirement, you can choose any of these. Then if you want any feed items, you can enable this milestone feed items, and we can also enable the rest of the milestone tracker and milestone time settings. So we'll discuss, you will understand what is all of this when we get into our demo. But once we enable this entitlement management, there are certain prerequisites that needs to take care. And what are those prerequisites? One is we have to go to the case object and go to from the object manager, search for the case object, and go to fields and relationships and enter search for the entitlement name. Here click on set field level security and ensure that this is visible for the system admin. But for the first time, this specific one will be hidden. So it should not be hidden. You have to ensure that this entitlement name is visible to the system admin or to the profiles which you wanted to enable this to make this visible. This is one prerequisite. Once you are done with that, you have to go to your case page layout and then go to your case support layout. This is the layout page layout which I am using. Go to the feed view and under the tools and components, somewhere in the tools and components, yeah, you have this milestone tracker. You have to, from the hidden, you have to click on this move button and move to the right column. And then in the feed filter options, milestone status, move from the available to the selected section and click on save. I think I'm using the case layout. Let's see whether we have it for the case layout or not. I'm saving this case support layout, but let's go to the case page layout, go to my case layout and ensure that we have all of those. I'm going to feed view and I'm going to my section. Yes, so we are using tools and components. I have already added the milestone and I have also added the milestone status. So this is the second prerequisite. Click on save. Once you are done with that, go to from the account from the object manager, look out for the account object and let's go to the page layout. I think I'm using this account layout. Go to your related list and see whether you have the entitlements or not. If you don't have it, please try to drag and drop your entitlements to your related list section. So once you are added that, click on save. So you have added the entitlement as a related list to your account. Now let's go to our entitlement section and let's see if we have enabled everything. Yes, we have done that. Now let's create the entitlement process. So what I'm doing is, for the first time, I'm creating this standard support entitlement. So let's click on edit. Since I have already created the entitlement process. Let's check. Let's dig into what all details we have to enter. So, or let me try to create one so that I can show you. So the entitlement process type, it is by default case or the work order. But since we wanted it for the case, you have to select the case and click on next. So you have to give the entitlement process name. You have to click on active. Then it asks you certain different options. Whether the case enters the process. So when does you want the entitlements to start? You want to start based upon the case created date, or you want it based upon your custom date and time on that specific case field. Because we are using our standard key created date field, let us use that option. Now, when does this entitlement process should stop? So the case exits the process based upon when the case is closed or based upon the custom criteria. Because we are not having any custom criteria, let us use the standard one. Here, in some of the organizations, you define your business hours. It could be 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. PST. If at all you have any business hours specified, you can do a lookup for that business hours and update it over here. But for now, we don't have any business hours. So we are choosing all of these options and clicking on save. Once you do that, first one is you created the entitlement process. After you create the entitlement process, you have to create a milestone. What is this milestone? Milestone represents the required steps in our support process. So let's consider an example. Suppose you have a high priority case, and as soon as somebody from the customer who is entitled with the phone support calls in, and your customer representative lifts the phone and he understands that the case is a high priority case, he or she the support agent goes and create a case in the system. Once a case is created in the system, there should be a service level agreements like an SLA, right? A case should be closed within this specified duration of time, or how much time, whether do you have any first response to be given to the customers, or how much time it should be taken to complete a high priority case. So we are defining all of those in our milestone. So what we do is, whenever a case is created which has priority is equal to high, we are defining that the specific case should be closed in 4 hours. And if at all you get any cases which is like medium priority or low priority, then for that the SLA is 16 hours. So we will create the milestones based upon whatever we have discussed. So let's go to the milestones tab, milestones, and create a milestone. So what I have done is, I have already created the milestone called as a resolution time. Okay, so in this resolution time, I have given the name as resolution. There are different types of recurrence type. One is a no recurrence, second one is independent, third is sequential. A recurrence, no recurrence is the milestone will occur once per case. Based upon your business scenario, you can choose which recurrence type you wanted to choose. What is an independent? Independent milestone is, it will occur whenever the milestone criteria is met. So it depends upon the criteria. The sequential is, it keeps on occurring, repeating until keeps on repeating. It's sequential. So based upon your business requirement, you can choose any of these recurrence type. For me, for the first, I'm using the no recurrence and click on save. So once, so what you have done, you have went ahead and created an entitlement process called the standard process. Then you have created a master milestone, which is called as a resolution time, so that you can use this milestone and add it to different entitlements, many entitlements. And then you can use this milestone to add to your entitlement process. Let's go to our entitlement process, click on edit. So when you click on this, you see that I have added two milestones. What is the milestone 1 doing here? What does it do? It is, I have chosen the standard entitlement process, then have chosen the milestone which I have already created, which is resolution time. Here I am choosing the trigger minutes, which is 240. So when does this milestone should get completed? It is after immediately, that is 4 hours. 4 hours into 60 minutes, which is 240. So here we are giving it as 240. If you have any Apex classes, you can use that Apex class, but we are using our standard process, so let's use the standard one. Then what is the start time? Start time is, as soon as you associate the specific milestone to the entitlement, that is, as soon as the entitlement process starts, you want this milestone to get started. Then what is the order? You are giving the order as 1, and then you are defining the criteria. Let me create one for you. So I'm creating a new milestone. Okay, not the milestone. From the process, oh no. Let me create a new entitlement process. Okay, click on next. Okay, let me just show you how does that looks. Click on save. So once you save your entitlement process, this is how it looks. It is not active currently. Then it is asking me to associate a milestone to the entitlement process. So if you recall, we created a milestone resolution time. So I can use that milestone name, resolution time. And then it is time triggered. What does it do? The amount of time in which the milestone must be completed. So it is 4 hours. High priority case should be closed within 4 hours. So it is 4 into 6, 24, 240 minutes. Then if you have any enable the Apex class for the time trigger, I don't have this. Start time is entitlement start time. I wanted to use the entitlement process start time. If you have any milestone business process hours, you can choose that, but we don't have it. What is the order? the order to process the milestone if a record matches a criteria of more than one milestone. Suppose you can have multiple milestones, right? Accordingly, you can set the order that this one should execute first. After this, the second milestone should get executed. After that, the third milestone should get executed. So I'm giving the order as 1. Here, you can either create the criteria as criteria is met or are met, or you can look out for the formula evaluates to true. So since my requirement is whenever the case has a priority is equal to high, this entitlement should get kicked off. So here I'm choosing the priority is equal to high and click on save. And once you save it, you have to ensure that you click on edit and try to click on active. So likewise, you can go ahead and add any of your milestones to this entitlement process. If you want to add the next one, which is priority is equal to medium and low, you can choose the entitlement milestone name as resolution time. Then you can choose the start time. Here it is. What is the trigger time? Suppose for the priority is equal to medium or the low, it should be like 16 hours. So 16 into 60 it is 960. So you can give the time trigger as 960 and click on save. So let's go to the entitlement. This is what we have. So we have created the milestones. So once we create the milestones, there are different actions that can be performed on a single milestone. You can add the workflow actions, all of these. You can add the warning actions. You can add some time trigger. So for our use case, what we will do is we will use a time trigger warning action. And what warning action I have used? I have used as 1 hour before the milestone expires. I am using a warning action, that is sending an email alert. So what I'm doing, I'm using an email alert. So here I'm saying, I'm giving the description, I'm using all of these, and I'm using the email alert saying that if at all the case doesn't get resolved, like even though the case is still active, so my resolution time for the specific high priority case is 4 hours. So what I'm saying is 1 hour before the milestone is expired, I am sending out a notification to the case owner saying that, hey, you have a case which is a high priority, and for that the SLA is 4 hours. We are just sending out a warning messages to the person who is working on that specific case. And if you want to add any violations, something that your case is not closed even after 4 hours, then you can add your time trigger on this one. Set the time trigger for violation actions. And you can send out an email alert, you can do field updates, you can select the existing actions, everything you can do. So what I have done, I have used a email alert. And what I'm doing, I'm assigning it to the user and I'm creating that specific template, 1 hour milestone. So how to create the template? Let's go to the same home, look out for the classic. Under the email you see classic email templates, and I have created this classic email templates. Let's click on that. So what did I do? I gave the name, I gave the template unique name, and then I have given the subject. It is a plain text. This is a warning email which gets expired, that the case gets expired in 1 hour. Please take appropriate actions. So I'm sending this warning email to the case owner who is working on the high priority case. Now let's create a case and see how does this entitlement works. So So before that, let's get into our slide deck and see if we are missing something. Yes. So milestone represents required time-dependent steps in your support process, like first response or case resolution times. These milestones are added to the entitlement processes to ensure that agents resolve the support records correctly and on time. So that is what we have discussed. You have your entitlement process, then you create your master milestone and associate different milestones to your entitlement process. Once you have that, you have to create an entitlement record. How do we do that? From the app launcher, look out for the, click on the app launcher. So I'm trying to refresh the page, and from the app launcher, look out for the entitlement. Search for entitlement. Here you see under the items entitlements, and create an entitlement record. So I have already created a record called as a standard. Okay. So this is the entitlement. And what did I do? I have created a record called as a standard entitlement. I have given the type as phone support and have selected an account, because you remember, and every entitlement should be associated to an account. So I have associated an account to this entitlement, and I have chosen the entitlement process here as standard support, which we have already created, and I have saved this specific record. And then from this particular account, suppose consider the customer calls our help desk. Now agent looks out that customer belongs to this account, and he understands that this account has a phone entitlement. So he answers the questions whatever the customer has, and he creates a case. Once a case is created, suppose the case is a priority equal to high. Once a case is assigned to the agent, now the agent tries to look out for that specific case. Agent sees that his first responsibility is to ensure that this high priority case is closed within 4 hours, because he has a milestone on that one. So he tries to work on that specific case, and he tries to close that case within the 4 hours. So this is how the SLA is being worked on according to your entitlements that is being assigned to an account. So now on the specific account, I have lots of related list. I can go to the cases and create a case. I use a product one, and the customer is entitled for the phone support. So I use the phone of case origin is equal to phone, case region, whatever it is, priority is equal to high. Then from the same account I'm using, there are different other values that we can choose. And yeah, under the entitlement name, I choose this standard entitlement. That is a record that we have created. So I will use that. All of this is manually, but you can create a trigger to automatically assign an entitlement as soon as a case is created based upon the logic, and click on save. Once you click on save, you see that a milestone is being shown up here. We have added this as from the tools and components, right? This milestone tracker. You see you have a milestone tracker, which is a resolution time is equal to 3 hours 59 minutes. And as soon as the agent open up his a specific case, the agent recognizes that this case has a milestone on it, and he tries to work on this case based upon the SLA. We have to remember that the milestones are not marked as completed automatically. We can write a trigger so that whenever the status of a case is changed to closed, then the milestone can be within the 4 hours, then the milestone can be marked as completed. So if at all the case is still not closed, 1 hour before the milestone expiration, a warning email will be sent to the case owner. Case owner is Namrata Kadiyala. A warning email will be sent to the case owner that there is a case assigned to you and needs to be completed within 1 hour. So this is how the entitlement management is achieved. So we have only covered about entitlements and the milestones. There is another topic on the entitlements like service contracts and contract line items, which is another big topic which we will be covering in our next sessions. I hope you all this video is helpful to all of you. If you like our videos, please subscribe and like our channel SFDC One Stop, and you can also visit our blog for various new topics, and it is sfdconestop.blogspot.com. Thank you so much again for watching our videos, and have a good day.